This is Algebra 1, Unit 6, Lesson 3, solving two-step inequalities, and we're going to throw a few word problems in there too. So to solve a two-step inequality, it's just like solving a two-step equation. We're going to perform the inverse operation, and we're going to do it in opposite order of operations order. So that means we're going to start with addition, subtraction. We're going to get rid of that, then we'll move to multiplication, then exponents, then parentheses. So I want to first get rid of this plus 2. We're going to do the inverse operation, so I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. So I get n divided by 3 is greater than negative 2. Now we want to get rid of the division, and we're going to multiply both sides by 3. So it looks like n has to be greater than negative 6. So let's go ahead and graph that. We're going to go to negative 6. We're going to put an open circle because it's not equal to, and we're going to shade the way it's pointing, which is the right. We want n to be greater than negative 6. All right, here we go again. We got to get rid of that plus 2 by subtracting 2 from each side. So we get 8x is less than or equal to 136. We're going to get rid of that multiplication by dividing. And 136 divided by 8 is 17. So we get x is less than or equal to 17. So to graph that, this time we have a bar underneath, so 17 is included. So we're going to shade that circle, and we want less than, so we're going to shade the way it's pointing, so we're going to shade down. Right. Let's do some that are a little more interesting. Okay, your first instinct on this one probably is to distribute your negative 3, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's perfectly fine. But let me show you a little shortcut. What you can do, because that's multiplication, you can get rid of it right away. So maybe I want to divide each side by negative 3, and boom, it's gone. It saves us a little bit of work. But don't forget we're dividing by a negative. When you divide by a negative, we've got to flip that sign. All right, now let's get rid of that addition. I know we got rid of multiplication before addition, but we're allowed to do that in this case. So let's go ahead and get rid of that 2 by subtracting. We get negative 10, and then I like it the other way. It makes more sense to me. So let's flip the whole inequality. I'm going to put the n first. I'm going to put the negative 10 second, and then I'm going to flip this sign. So it looks like n needs to be greater than negative 10. So let's go ahead and graph that. I find negative 10. I'm going to put an open circle, and we're going to shade to the right the way it's pointing. If you see something like this, a fraction bar, that fraction bar works as a grouping symbol. That means this whole thing is grouped together. So instead of getting rid of the addition, which I know is tempting, because that's in grouping, we have to get rid of multiplication and division first up here according to our order of operations. We have to get rid of that. So to get rid of divide by 2, we're going to multiply by 2. So you get n plus 3 is greater than negative 4. Let's get rid of that 3 now. Subtract 3 from each side. And we get negative 7. Again, there's no bar, so we're going to make that an open circle. And we want greater than, so we're going to shade to the right. And again, don't forget about flipping the sign when you divide or multiply by a negative number. Let's try a couple word problems with two steps inequality. And don't forget about the little keys that we look for. If they say something like is not less than, that means it's greater than or equal to. Okay, equal to is okay, as long as it's not less than. If they say something like not more than, that means it has to be less than or it can be equal to. So look for those keywords. Let's try the first one. Keith has $500 in a savings account at the beginning of summer. He wants to have at least, there it is, at least. So we know he wants greater than or equal to $200. So we're going to start with that. He wants greater than or equal to $200. At the end of summer, he withdraws $25 per week for food and clothing. So when we see per week, we know we're going to multiply. So he takes out $25 per week. And we know we're subtracting from the $500. And so we want him to have at least $200. So we want it greater than or equal to $200. There we go. We're going to subtract that 500 from each side, so we get negative 25x is greater than or equal to negative 300. We're going to divide each side by negative 25. And that gives us 300 divided by 25, 12. We just divided by a negative, so we know what we have to do. We've got to flip that sign. So that means that Keith can withdraw money from his savings account for 12 weeks or less and still end up saving that $200 that he was hoping to. Let's try another one. Chris wants to order DVDs over the internet. Each DVD costs $15. And shipping for the entire order costs $9.99. So there's a flat rate of shipping. So we know he's spending $15.99 per DVD. You can use whatever variable you want. Plus he has to pay $9.99 for shipping. And he wants to spend no more than, if you look at our little chart here, no more than means less than or equal to. So he's got to spend less than or equal to $100. That's what he has to spend. So we're going to say make sure that's less than or equal to $100. Let's subtract that $9.99 from each side. So it looks like we have $15.99 per DVD is less than, that would be what, 90.01. Let's divide by $15.99, see how many DVDs he can order. And let's see. So it looks like it is less than 5.6 DVDs. Okay, so that means he can order 5 or fewer. He can't order 6. You can't order a fraction. So our answer is he can order 5 or fewer DVDs and stay within his $100 budget. Please try the practice problems. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.